Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out, where we deep dive into ClickFunnels 2.0 and how to use it to grow your funnel building business.
Hey, I'm Susan.
And I'm Andrea.
Come along with us as we learn and discover how to use the new ClickFunnels and how to make it bend to our will. Welcome. We have Andrea here and Dan Havey here and me, Susan. And we are going to just kind of talk about some random things today and answer your questions. So if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. I know that a couple of you asked questions on a different post, so we'll get to those. But put them here. I'm going to pull up the chat here real quick, make sure I know. Oh, Ivy's here. Hi, Ivy. Ivy's always one of our loyal watchers, so we appreciate her. So we have a couple of things to talk about, a couple of observations in 2.0, a couple of things that are noticed, and some good things too. So where should we start? Okay, let's start with April Fools, right?
Yes, I think we should start there.
Yeah, we didn't post this in the group, so you may have not seen this yet, but I don't know. I'm not gonna, well, we can look at the picture or the page, I guess. I don't have it, but let me pull it up real quick. So if you go, you don't have to right now, but this is where you find it. If you go to secretspillows.com, you will see that Russell has a new offer for you to partake in.
All of your needs.
I'll share my screen here just a second. We're going to share it this way so Andrea and Dan can see it too. Okay. So secretspillows.com gets you to this page. There's like, I don't know, like a 3 minute video you can watch, which is hilarious. You should watch it. But I'm sorry, I'm ruining it for you. This is an April Fool's Day prank. But it was fun getting the email this morning and I was like totally hooked in. I'm like, Russell made an easier way to read books. Like I'm in, like, let's go watch this. And then I quickly realized it was April Fool's.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first saw it, it reminded me of back in the 1980s. They had these subliminal tapes. You would play these subliminal tapes at night, and it would be like the sound of ocean waves and all that. And supposedly was putting all this information into your head all night long. And of course, they didn't work because it was just the sound of the ocean playing into your ear all night long. So that's what this reminded me.
Yeah, it's that's awesome. But you guys, you can see the screenshot from the video. You guys can go check this out. But basically, this has been the buzz this morning.
It's pretty funny. And
so apparently you're supposed to watch the video. I haven't watched the video yet, but the girls are telling me that it's funny. So I guess it's worth the watch.
Well, and some brilliant person has to make these pillows now, right? Like on the e-com side, like somebody's got to make them.
Oh yeah, I mean the actual pillow, but the brain technology, like they say in here somewhere, it just keeps frying people's brains.
Let's just jump here. We'll just jump to it real quick.
Into your brain while you are sleeping.
So a lot of people want to read my books because they want to learn how to build a funnel, or tell their story, or learn how to drive traffic. What we found is that even though they want to read my books, they suck at reading.
So after building a industry,
anyway, so
or tell
words like directly into your brain while you are sleeping.
So a lot of people.
It's not the thing. There's a part of the video where it like shows the pillow working.
I think it's right before that. I think it's right before her nightmare scene. Yeah, it's the other guy.
You'll have to just come and watch it. But yeah, I think there's a part where I don't want to ruin it. Just go watch the video. But yeah, so that's fun. This page is not 2.0. We were talking about that before we jumped on here. And that like this is collecting information. And so far they haven't released anything publicly 2.0 related that is collecting actual information. So I didn't realize you guys have like a really terrible view here. Let's fix that.
Oh, that's okay.
That's interesting. It's interesting you just said that because I didn't think about that. So none of the other ClickFunnels pages that are currently live have an opt-in.
I don't think so, because it's just been the hubs, which is directing everyone to 1.0 pages, right? I could be wrong.
I mean, technically, at least on the funnel hubs that I make, we do a newsletter opt-in, like a traditional website, a lot of times in like the footer. So, I mean, there is that element that's needed on the hub. And even I think Russell on his, he does have an opt-in. So, but I think you're right, Susan, in that I don't think that I was just going to go double check.
Wasn't there a purchase? But there's a purchase. There's an order form page on one of the 2.0 sites, isn't there? Didn't they do that on, what was it? The
VSS?
With the big upsell for CC2 or 2CCX that him and Allison Prince did a few weeks ago. Wasn't that order form page built in 2.0?
It could have been. I don't remember. I don't think we looked at that one very closely, unless you did, Dan.
I don't think I thought it switched over, but maybe not. Let's go double check.
But anyway, I just was going to show you, we were talking about this before too, and I got it wrong, Dan, in that the next page after the opt-in is not even an order form. It goes to this, which I think you saw when you opted in. Yeah. Goes to this, and then this button clicks over to his regular order form. He didn't have to go and build like an entirely new funnel. Just links over to his existing funnel for this. So really, he just put these 2 pages in front of his funnel.
So apparently these guys had nothing better to do one day, and so they just whipped this out for our entertainment.
Yeah. Gary's in the comments. He's saying the magnetic marketing was built by Gust & Son in 2.0, but is there an order form or opt-in on that one? I don't remember.
Right. Is there any?
Oh, yes. So
or does it click over to something else?
I think it clicks over to 2.0. We analyzed that one.
Yeah. When we click the newsletter, it is a pop-up. It is collecting. So maybe opting in, they have it actual live working out there in the real world, but order forms may not be yet.
Because I don't recall in 2.0 if we have an opt-in for.
I'm looking right now. I don't think we do.
Yeah, not yet at least. And that's, again, as we've said to everybody here, it's just, this is still a long time coming. Somebody asked a question in my page, my profile the other day about, when's it coming? And we went back and forth a couple of times on it. And I said, well, I think what the problem is Russell was all excited. He wanted to get it out to everybody. They wanted to make a big splash of Funnel Hacking Live last year. It's just that I don't think they overpromised as far as what it's going to eventually look like, but they definitely were way off on the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we do have an input on 2.0 right now.
Okay. I'm sorry. I clicked through a lot of things to get to, so I'm on the magneticmarketing.com site. I went over to membership to learn more. That led me to clicking to this page. I don't know, Dan, you can tell really quickly where this was built, right?
Yeah, it's 1.0.
1.0. So we've already linked over to a 1.0 page at this point. So there's not, as far as we know, there aren't any order forms out
and I think
the live
even
world.
Though we have the element, there's nowhere it goes. We don't have access to wherever it goes. So like,
right.
If I add an email on here, I don't see any ability to be able to see the data field.
Right.
Because, we don't have contacts. We don't have anything. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's a fun thing.
Yeah.
You can go check it out, secretspillows.com. But yeah, it just directs you to go and buy his bundle, which if you don't have these books, you should go get the books anyway. This would be a fun offer to get it through. Not that you get the pillows, although we were just talking about that too, of like, man, someone should make the pillows.
Totally make pillows.
You should add that into their store, the ClickFunnels swag store.
100%.
All right. I'm going to also, while I'm sharing, the other thing that we were going to bring up is the blogging. So I know we've talked a lot about funnel hubs the last couple of weeks, but we've mentioned a tiny bit. Andrea, you had said you had started to play with the blog, but didn't really get too far with it. So I will show the live page of what I just put together literally while we were getting ready to go live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go through some observations of what's working, what's not working so far. Because they're still working on this, obviously. There's still some bugs. But I threw this together. Well, I opened up the let me shrink our videos pictures here. I opened up the template that was already in there. I think it was a button that literally said start your blog.
Yep, it's in the wizard, it's in the starter wizard.
I clicked it, it opened up this template, and because I have already set up the style, it was already done. I only had to come in here and swap out her picture. I put my name. I just realized that it's not mine, but you just need to put your name in there and like this tag, and then name your blog, and then like put in a subheadline or a tagline, and that was it. And then it was up, and these are sample blog posts that were in there. So it took me like a minute to actually get it to this point, which is pretty awesome. Like, that's really quick to throw a blog together that already looks way better than a WordPress blog that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it actually, and I want to address this one really specifically, it actually takes away choice. Now, most people would be like, no, I want choice, right? But I think part of the problem, I know whenever anybody gets into WordPress, it's like, how many hours upon hours do you look for themes that line and that you know you can work with and blah, 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 right?
Oh my gosh, the choice that you have in a WordPress blog, it could take you a week to set up your blog.
So I really love that they've taken away all of that, right? Because I mean, again, it's like in this world of blogging, right? It's just like, get your content out there and give me control over the content space itself. Let's not spend all this time on like the experience. And this is the experienced person talking about this, right? Like, but it's just too much. So I really like that they've really streamlined it, made it simple.
Yeah.
So my question, Susan, when you set up this blog, where did you have to go and buy your hosting from?
I haven't. There is no. It's in ClickFunnels 2.0.
There's no hosting. You don't have to go.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
You don't have to.
All in ClickFunnels.
What kind of new technology is that? That's crazy.
Right?
But did you get all your plugins installed? Did you get that all taken care of?
There have been zero plugins.
Zero.
And also, like, I can't show this, but I can talk about it. I think in the back end, when you're actually setting up the blog, I'm trying to look at it on my other screen. Hold on. Okay, and I'm going to get into the what's not currently working yet part in a minute, but when you're actually in there and you're adding in a blog post, it's got all of the things that you would expect of like putting in your title, your description, your feature image. There's a section called SEO and sharing, putting in your categories, your tags, your author, and you can have like set, like you add in your author and you add in their name, their email, their image, and then you can just select them from a list, like when you're choosing who is the author. So if you have a blog where there's multiple authors, super easy to just pull their name off of a list, and it's already got all their contact info connected to it. I haven't been able to do the SEO and sharing stuff. Oh, actually, I just clicked on it. So you can edit the SEO page title, SEO page description, and the path. Yeah. So that's all the things that I would expect there to be.
And I can show you the blog page I was able to create, kind of, but it just, you can see like it seems like it might be there.
I'll let you share here.
Well, we can always look at marketing secrets, because that's a fully functioning blog that they have working now.
Yeah.
That's Russell's. So it's marketingsecrets.com if somebody wants to pull it up and see what the direction that they're going, because the cool thing about it, and I haven't worked with the blogs a whole lot yet, that's not really what I was interested in, but it's anywhere you could take a page, you can be building a page, because all this is built inside the ClickFunnels editor. So you can build a page and they have already pre-built elements. You can take these pre-built elements and just dump it into the page, and you can pull up an individual post right there inside of your page, or you can drop in a sidebar with all your categories and tags, and then you can click on that and it'll take you to wherever. And so there's going to be a lot of really cool built-in features. It's just, they got a ways to go.
Right. And I think, we did a pretty good analysis, a little ways back on the Marketing Secrets blog. And so I think again, it seems like the promise is there for us to be able to do this. And just like you said, Susan, like being able the categories, being able to do that. I mean, that's awesome in terms of the organization. Okay.
And
but
just real quick though, because this that we're looking at here is drastically different from what we were just looking at. And I just want to point out that what we were looking at is considered the blog home. And there's also a view that is a blog category view. And I think that might, that looks even more different than what we're seeing here. So I think there's different views, and obviously you can design it and set it up to look any way that you want to. It's just, that's what the template looks like, is what I was showing you before.
Here's my theory about how that is. My theory is that we would make a page inside of the funnel hub called Content Hub. All of this top section, is like just a normal element in there. But this right here is a dynamic section, like what you were just talking about, Dan, that would say like, this is like my latest blog, my latest podcast, my latest, video post. So like this to me is a dynamic section. And then this, again, is still on the page you just created, but it's now the insert of the blog element with, like I think it's in, like, this is inside of it. So to your point, like, Susan, it's not a standalone blog that I go to. It's embedded inside of my funnel.
Real quick, I'm just going to show on my side. It's not going to show to you, but I'm going to show to them on this side what this looked like again. So on this one, the template, the blog posts are in like a triple column, and where the one Andrea is showing you, let me jump back to Andrea's screen. It's not, it's like, they're just stacked, right? Vertically. So that's why it looks different. And then they have the menu on the side, which I don't have on the thing that I was showing you. And I haven't played with it enough to know, like, can I just drop those elements, those dynamic elements onto the page under like her picture? So I haven't played with it enough to do that yet.
Yeah. So I think that it's really easy to grab those dynamic elements from what I can tell. Where it's hard is we haven't yet figured out, we think it's a bug, but we're not sure how to easily create the individual blog posts. So like if I go into an individual blog post, there's a certain degree of consistency for every blog, right? Like there's going to be a title, there's going to be this comments option, there's going to be the social share, there's going to be the recent post over here, but this right here, and maybe the title even is consistent, but like this like pointer of what this is, right? This actual recap text is specific to this blog post. The best quote is specific to this blog post. Sponsors, transcripts, right? Like these are all specific to this blog post. And so where we're running into a little bit of trouble is like, how do we actually create the content itself in the blog, in the various blog pages? I did a hack where, let me show you.
While you're finding that, I will just say I did try to go in and make a blog post just a little bit ago, and I was able to make it. But when I went to either save it as a draft or actually publish it live, I tried both ways. The post disappeared. So I think there's a bug around there, and I need to go and report
That's what
Yeah.
So, and I'm still working on my blog. Obviously it's, the green on peach is a no, and the poop brown isn't going to be in there, but I was trying just to get something up and running to see if it'll work. So I was able to add custom content into this, which, side note, I think it was a super funny video that I made when I was trying to decide whether to go into the 2.0 collective, and I equated it to the Mandalorian. But anyway, that's a total aside. So I was just trying to play with like, can I put in my own content? So I have been able to do it, but it's super awkward and not quite clear, and we think there's lots of bugs still. So anyway, we know it's possible. We see the
I had a little bit of a different experience in that I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know why Andrea is having so many problems with this. Like, here's how you create a post. It's right here. I just need to drop the info in, but then it didn't save. That's the problem. So maybe they fixed a little bit of what you were dealing with, but now it's just the issue of like, well, it's not actually publishing. I think I had that experience that you're talking about, Susan, where like I went in, it seemed easy, but because it wasn't saving, that's when I tried these other ways to at least get this content in, and then it let me save it, but it's awkward, and it like didn't take the rest of the elements, right? The surrounding elements of the blog. So interesting. Okay.
Yeah, super interesting. But all that to say, going back to that, I do think that it is possible. All the things are there. It seems like it's possible, but just a matter of like, how do we actually do it? So, yeah.
Well, the one thing, if you go back to the page before that, Andrea, I pulled up the code on that, and the entire column there that has all the blog posts one on top of each other. So go back to the page before where you were inside of the
Marketing
side of
Secrets
Russell's,
page.
Russell's site. So just click on the content hub. And so that entire left column right there is an element called, what's it called here? Blog post collection.
Yeah.
So again, that's like we had said, is you can just take that element and when you get into the editor, there's a whole bunch of them down the right-hand side. You can just grab that element, drag it over, drop it in, boom, right there on your page. You just dropped the entire listing of all your blog posts, just like you would do in WordPress.
Yeah. Which is super cool about collections, because like you could, like, he has swipe files, right, which is a category, but I could imagine you could probably make multiple collections in order to just organize your material for easier access.
Yeah, and if you look at the URL as well, that's using the same kind of URL structure as you would see in in WordPress.
Yeah.
So you got your root domain, you got the blog, you got then your categories.
Yeah.
Now, if you click on one of the categories and then click on one of the posts. Just click on a post. And are those posts? I'm assuming those are posts.
I think so.
Yeah. So so it works exactly as far as the URL structure, the same as WordPress.
Which is great for all of those SEO people in the house.
Yeah, because you had your dedicated page for your category. I'm assuming you would have the same thing for tags if they have tags in here, and then you go out to the post itself. Yep,
cool. Okay, awesome. And then I think the only other thing that we wanted to talk about is that they also opened up domain settings. So I'll stop sharing because this is not one that we can share, but at least visually. And the only thing I'll note is that, yes, it's still buggy, but there's 3 things that I saw in there as I was trying to set up that seemed promising. So the first one is, right now, the way that you set up a domain, it's about a 4-step process to get all the things, right? And it seemed like maybe they might be reducing some of those steps. I don't know, maybe not, but it seemed like they're trying. The second thing is that, and this is like uber nerdy, and I know we were talking about it right before this, but so for folks who don't know, in the email deliverability world, the health of the domain that the email, so like my domain is andrea@auradelphi.com, for instance, right? The health of my auradelphi.com domain actually impacts my email deliverability. So if I don't have a website with auradelphi.com that has visitors, or have like a space out there that actually has the auradelphi.com, it actually impacts if my emails get into inboxes and not into spam. So it's they also look at SEO rankings for email deliverability. Like it's amazing how much actually goes into email deliverability, and whether the Yahoos and the Gmails and the Googles of the world, Google, Gmail, same thing, but Hotmail, let you come in and say this is a trusted email and doesn't direct your stuff in spam. So in ClickFunnels, when I was setting up the domain, it seemed like there were some things in there that made it like they were trying to increase the health of the domain itself by doing the typical things that you would do in the email world to increase the deliverability. So, and I won't go like all the way down that rabbit hole, but it was just, I thought that was a little bit encouraging of like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe they're going to try to help with that front in the system.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what they do, what comes about from that. Because currently we haven't been able to set one up fully yet. You're working on it though, Andrea, of setting up a domain, but
trying. Yeah.
Yeah, and then once we get to the point where they start rolling out the funnels and the follow-up funnels and all that, I think personally, this is what I think, is that they're going to integrate directly with SendGrid and do away with us having to set up our own SMTP, which that's a big savings for people as well if they don't have to set that up. And who knows? I know at one point, I remember a couple of years ago with Actionetics, you would pay for the number of emails you sent out each month. You got like the first 10,000 for free, or first 10,000 contacts, or whatever it was, and then you had to pay more over time. And at some point they did away with that and went back to everybody having to use the SMTP again. So we'll see what happens there. It'd be nice if they can integrate that all into one.
Yeah, it would be.
Plus, I think it would help with deliverability and everything else too.
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how many times that I have set up an SMTP and then set it up again, and then set up again, and then set it up again. And like, I mean, it just is prone to like fail points. I don't know. It's so annoying. Or like ClickFunnels saying that it's not working, but then going into the SMTP and it says it's fine. And then I don't know, maybe it's just my dumb luck, but I've had so many problems with setting that up.
Well, and it's all the whitelisting and all that you have to do too. But that's why I shot a video. I have a video that's probably 45 minutes long showing the entire process to set it up. Now, did I shoot that video because I'm such a nice guy and I want everybody else on the planet to know how to do it? Well, of course. But the real reason I shot it was so that I didn't have to remember how to do it the next time when I knew I was going to have to set it up again.
Right.
So I'm not kidding you. That's the half of the reason why I shoot all the videos I do, is so I don't have to remember how to do it. I just go back and watch my own video.
Yeah. You should drop that link too, Dan, on this session.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Before we wrap up, we did get a couple of questions on our question thread in the event. Gary, I don't know if you're still on, but Gary was asking, will I be able to get rid of my Shopify store and replace with ClickFunnels? I think that is the idea at this point.
I don't know. Yeah, that's so? I don't know. I think that my interpretation. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Well, I think all we really know at this point is they said there's going to be carts.
Yeah.
Right.
What that's going to look like and when that's going to appear, I mean, that could be Funnel Hacking Live 2025 by the time we see it. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think that you will be able to get rid of your Shopify. You may be able to get rid of the storefront aspect of Shopify, right? Where ClickFunnels would just handle that through a funnel type of experience. But there is no way that ClickFunnels is going to take on the deliverability of e-com products. So I think there has to still be a connection to Shopify for the order fulfillment aspect of it. Either that, or they're going to start teaching people how to do drop shipping or some other way, right? Like,
and why, when Shopify already knows how to do all that. So there might be they might be able to do the carts, but then it integrates really well into Shopify.
Exactly.
Would be the idea. Because I know right now, if you want to connect.
I was going to say, it is April Fool's Day, so why don't we start a rumor that ClickFunnels has bought Shopify?
Who knows on his acquisition? He might know.
Well, I mean, they bought that My Pillow guys pillow company, so they might as well buy Shopify too.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hopefully that helps you out, Gary. But
and whoever's got control of the screen, if you want to show this real quick, I dropped into the chat the link to that order form page, which was built on 2.0, and it is an order form.
Go ahead, you can share.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to let you guys do it.
Oh, I can do it.
I'm sorry. I see it in the chat. Yeah, I'll grab it.
This is for 2CCX, the last time they opened the doors.
Yeah, how come I can't find it now? That's too funny.
Oh, I just did marketingsecrets.com. That's not what we're sharing right now, is it?
No.
No, it's the other one.
Okay,
the one right above it.
Let's find my chat again. This one. Okay. Okay. So this one, this order form, this page is 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's promising. So we know
have a different look.
That it exists. What's that?
I was just going to say it does have a different look, but that doesn't mean much. You could change that with coding in 1.0, but go ahead.
We did an analysis of this page too, right? So like things like highlighting the recommended one, that's the CF Pro tools that they brought in now, which is fantastic. Some of the the select your payment plan, that's a CF Pro Tools, right? Which I don't know if they offer Stripe and credit card in this one, probably not, right? Because ClickFunnels doesn't do PayPal.
Yeah.
Which, thank goodness, I hate PayPal. It's the worst. It is. Like, I don't know if you guys ever built that, but it's horrible. The experience is horrible for people.
Well, the only problem with it is you have to go through a pop-up because you can't integrate PayPal directly into the page. It has to go out to PayPal and talk to PayPal directly, which I think is obviously a good security feature.
Well, it gets even worse though, because like on your OTO, you have to do the pop-up too. So now you have a situation where they could have bought the main with the credit card and the second one with the PayPal, or vice versa. Like, the experience of it just is crap. Like,
I think Jamie has a plugin for that, but again, we'll see.
No, that is with the plugin. That is. It's not a.
Oh, it's still okay. That's right. Because and we have to remember here is the reason why you can do OTOs is because of Stripe.
Yeah.
That is a function of Stripe, not a function of ClickFunnels, and PayPal does not have that function.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything in particular you wanted to look at on here?
No, I just because we were talking about whether
it exists.
It exists.
Yeah. So somewhere in the bowels of ClickFunnels, they have the products working. They have well, I guess products, that's the main thing here. So they have that working.
Yeah.
It's all coming. It's just when.
Yeah.
And again, with what we saw, what was our analogy last week about the Ferrari, and all we got so far is a chassis. And
but at least we know we're getting a Ferrari and it doesn't look like a Pinto. This was the metaphor.
Don't be slagging on the Pintos. Come on.
Oh yeah. But yes, so for all of those who are waiting in the wings, what are you guys telling your clients right now? I keep saying like we're a year out. That's what I'm like just safely saying, so that we can just get work done. What are you guys saying?
With all the bugs that we see in there right now, all the stuff that we don't quite know how to get it to work. I mean, and ClickFunnels is getting it to work. So it's working. We just haven't figured out how to get it to work. There aren't any, as far as we can tell, any help docs out there yet. It's only been released to people in 2 CCX and above. So it's not even to Funnel Hacking Live people. And at this pace right here, until they get, I mean, even just the issues we talked about today, until they can get that fixed, I can't imagine them putting it out to Funnel Hacking Live people.
I would highly advise them against
until we could figure out the issues with the blog and the domains and all that. So it could be May or June before Funnel Hacking Live people just get access to the what we have right now, which is I'm drawing a blank here, the funnel
hubs and the blogs.
Yeah. So we, again, we haven't even seen funnels yet. We haven't seen follow-up funnels. We blah 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 blah. So it's going to be a long slog. I think they realistically announced this thing a year too early.
Yeah.
And that's not to slag on them. I get it. You got your baby, you wanted to show it off, but it wasn't ready for prime time.
It was not. No, but it's still exciting, and we still we're getting to see it come into fruition. And I think it's also a lesson learned on like what it does take to create something like this. And all of those companies that go out and try to mimic these software companies and then platform companies, like they try to mimic what they're doing and get it wrong. Like, this is why, because it's not something you can just slap together and be like, hey, we have a competing product.
Yeah. So Go High Level, basically how they started was as a clone of the ClickFunnels editor. And then they added on and added on and added on. Now, did they, I don't know where the technology came from that created ClickFunnels in the first place. So was it open source and they just used the same open source material? I don't know. But, so Go High Level started from the same place, and now they keep adding on more stuff. Now, I haven't used Go High Level hardly at all. So I don't know. Everybody seems to rave about it, but I don't know if they rave about it more because they're making affiliate commissions off of it, or they actually it is that good. I don't know. I'm building in a project right now in Go High Level, and I have a client that's doing an integration with Go High Level, so I've been getting more exposure to it.
I definitely think that they're a viable candidate, you know, that's a competitor with ClickFunnels. I think they are more like platform, like ClickFunnels 2.0. So on that front, I just think that they got to market a little bit sooner than ClickFunnels on the platform front. But I do find Go High Level still pretty clunky and not able to do a lot of like customization unless you do some pretty sophisticated stuff. And it still relies on a crap ton of tech integration on the back end. So they sell it as this all-in-one solution, which I personally think is a problem because it's not. You know, they've just done the heavy lifting of doing integrations with key partners. So that's been my experience so far.
I saw like, I'm not going to name who, but there's a person out there that sells their version, their white labeled version of Go High Level. And I was looking at like on the sales page for it, it was like, okay, but you're also going to need this, this, and this to make it work. And it was like three other third-party things that I was going to have to connect to it to even get it to work.
Well, and I will
like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I will absolutely say that like their funnel technology, right, doesn't even touch ClickFunnels. Like the ability, all of the options in terms of like upsells, downsells, bumps, OTOs, the different types of funnel pages, right? Like they don't touch any of that. Like that ClickFunnels is a master of, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It may look like it, but it's not the same.
I mean, do they have the ability to put it in an order form even?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so they got order forms, but they don't have an OTO?
They have a weird option of it. It's just it's not as smooth as ClickFunnels.
Interesting.
Okay.
And just so that Ivy knows, we saw her question. Her question was, have they rolled out any new features since we last went live? And the answer to that is no. They're still trying to get the blog and the if you want to count the domain thing.
Right.
I mean, since we first seen it, there's been a couple of new things put in there.
Yeah.
But I think at this point here, they got enough bugs to chase that, you know, fix those first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would count that as all the same though. Like there hasn't been any, like we don't have access to funnels yet. We don't have access to membership area. I think she's referring to like big features, but pretty much the same. They're just making it work better at this point of what we do have, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And making it usable to actually launch live.
Yeah.
With domains. And I still haven't played again with it since last week on the custom fonts. But Dan did kind of solve that problem anyway. He's like, you can just host the font anywhere you want to. I was like, yeah, you can. So, but I haven't seen in there where you can.
I mean, even I said you could do it in CF 1.0, but you could just drop it into your Google Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as that file lives somewhere, that's all it needs.
Yeah. All right. I think that was everything. If you guys have more questions, put them either here or create a post and we will get back to them. And that's it. We'll be back next week, I think. Yes, next week.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will have something else to announce or to show you or whatever it is. Maybe we'll figure out the blog post situation.
There you go. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yes. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye, guys.